Hello and welcome to Cosmetics Business Standside, here live in Paris for the 2024 edition of In Cosmetics. Today I'm delighted to be reporting live from Kensing and more specifically talking to Serge, who's the CEO of Kensing. Serge, thank you so much for joining us and we're really looking forward to having a conversation with you about the company.
My pleasure, Tristan. Thanks a lot for welcoming us.
Not a problem at all. So maybe you can give us an overview of the company. Who is Kensing? What is the company's mission? What does the company stand for? Who are you guys?
We are a relatively new company. We were created in 2021
Wow.
by one acquisition from a private equity firm, One Rock Capital Partners in New York, who acquired one plant from BASF.
Right.
It's a former Cognis plant that actually just happened to be a leading manufacturer of plant-based vitamin E and sterols and surfactant from natural feedstocks.
Okay.
So one plant at the beginning. Over the past 2 years and a half now, we've made 3 acquisitions.
Yep.
We now have 5 plants in the world, a plant in Latin America, 2 plants in Spain, still in the same space. We've consolidated our surfactant business, acquiring betaines. We now have a core presence in,
Yeah.
we are the number 2 in North America in surfactant for shower gels and shampoos, and we have become the world number 1 manufacturer of plant-based vitamin E and sterols.
That is some journey in 2 years, and I think particularly as well, 2021 was a somewhat challenging year to go into a new business venture. So I think that's a testament to the quality of your business offering and your core mission as well.
Yes, we have more than doubled our size in the past 3 years, 2 years and a half now.
Yeah.
And still running fast. So still a newcomer, long history, because we come from Cognis, BASF, actually General Mills before.
Yeah.
So it's a 70 years old toddler.
And maybe you can tell us a bit more about what inspired your focus specifically on the natural ingredient side of things, and more specifically looking at one of your hero products, which is tocopherol.
Yeah, so this is a long history actually. Cognis at the time was one of the pioneers investing in plant-based sourcing for some of the materials. A large chemical company investing in plant-based. So
Yeah.
That's our history. We've always been plant-based. We manufacture surfactants from plant-based feedstocks. And we are reinforcing that presence, of course.
Yeah.
But another core importance of who we are is that we just happen to source feedstocks that are waste from the natural oil industry. So we are upcycling actually most of our materials in the vitamin and sterol side. We sell these sterols to the pharmaceutical industry, to the food industry, and of course the vitamin is quite ubiquitous across many industries.
And I think you touched on a really important word there, upcycling. Consumers are now more educated than ever before. They're more conscious about their carbon footprint than ever before as well. So the fact that you're able to offer an upcycled product, I think really does put you in that top tier of suppliers, and particularly here at In Cosmetics as well.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of traction on
Yeah.
that topic. We see it a lot around the world. It is quite a challenge, actually. Access to waste, to really manageable waste, is
Yeah.
going to become a challenge because many people are going in that space, which is a great news for mankind, I assume, and for the
yeah.
world. So this is very exciting. We have invested significantly in the ESG in general in our
Yeah.
firm. We were very proud because we became EcoVadis Gold in less than a year in our first application to EcoVadis as a new firm.
Yeah.
We were one of the first private companies to declare our carbon footprint to CDP, and we were just actually graded B for CDP. It's the first time I have a B, and I'm really proud of a B because B is not easy to reach.
That's a letter you want.
That's exactly. I want an A, and I think we'll get there. We're aiming to EcoVadis Platinum this year. We'll see
Yeah.
if we get it or not. It's a journey,
Yeah.
and it's a heavy work, but we're very proud of it.
Yeah.
And we've actually established our science-based targets that are ready to run, that are running right now. Our targets have been approved. So in a matter of a year and a half, because that journey started a little later,
Yeah.
we are now at the forefront of ESG and moving quickly.
Fantastic.
With a very nice ecosystem and backdrop
Yes.
on what we do,
Yeah.
especially with the companies that we have acquired that are all in the same space and all based on upcycling of vegetable oil materials.
And you touched on there about transparency as well. I think that clearly that is a big important part of the business too.
Yeah, I mean that has become a must, right?
Yeah.
We use vegetable feed.
Yeah.
Understanding which mill this grains have been crushed, understanding who is managing them, which region they come from, has
Yeah.
become completely critical. We are a member of RESPO. We are a member of RTRS, which is the responsible soy sourcing.
Yeah.
We are sourcing sunflower today, non-GMO sunflower, in Europe, in South America. And actually, some of our acquisitions have been linked to this. Access to feedstock is very strategic. We've acquired an Argentine firm, Advanced Organic Materials,
Yeah.
at a time of a relatively strong crisis in Argentina. People saying, why are you doing this? Well, Argentina is the number 3 grower of sunflower oil in the world, sunflower seeds in the world.
I didn't know that.
After Russia and Ukraine, out of all countries.
Yes.
So Argentina is core and strategic for feedstock sourcing. And then Argentina is next to Brazil. We are the only vitamin E manufacturer capable to truck soybean, for instance, oil from and residual distillates from Brazil in Latin America. So that's basically what we start to see is that with this challenge of upcycling of vegetable sourcing, raw material becomes more important for your manufacturing footprint than where the customers are.
Yes.
You can ship this thing wherever you want. You want to have, raw material access, and then from there, we now can manufacture on 3 continents. So from a carbon footprint, we actually have one shipment. At one point, there is a shipment, but that shipment can be minimized after that for the end treatment of these products. That's our strategy.
And the type of customer then that you're looking to work with, what is your typical customer base? What is the type of company that you're looking to do business with here at In Cosmetics?
Well, we are a relatively small firm in the sense that we are not a BASF or a large company. We are very narrow in what we do. We are the number 2 in surfactant in North America. So we work with every single large corporation that buys surfactant for shower gels and shampoos, and this is our daily, more strategic customers. And then it's the same thing in pharma. We're selling actually to the large pharmaceutical players. And then in skincare, where we are here, we're selling to the entire skincare. I mean, vitamin E is the most ubiquitous active ingredient in skincare. 80% of anti-age products contain vitamin E today. So we sell to everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
So our target, there is no specific target. This is our core. The next core for us is supplements, obviously.
Okay.
And then last one is actually pet food. Interestingly enough, the pet food players are very demanding in the quality of material that we give to our pets.
Interesting.
We are way more demanding for our pets than we are for our food, except in France.
Yeah, I can well imagine that's the case. Having 4 cats myself, I'd probably be more interested in what they eat than what I eat as well. So I can imagine that's a challenge for the business.
Don't eat too much of their food, though. But
I try not to, but it's so tasty. And maybe you can tell us, what really differentiates tocopherol from synthetic alternatives, because we know that there are synthetic alternatives out there. A huge part of USP of your business is the natural, the upcycling, the traceability, the ethical sourcing. So maybe you can explain the differences between the two.
Yeah, without getting too technical, it's actually an interesting, for any scientist, kind of interesting story. So vitamin E was actually discovered, then started to be produced synthetically because we did not know really how to extract it. So the first vitamin E that were produced were actually synthetic.
Right.
Now, synthetic is pure synthesis. This comes from natural gas. I mean, it's really big chemistry.
Yeah.
And when you produce a vitamin synthetically, you produce 2. We have a picture. You produce 2 different isomers or enantiomers of these molecules.
Yeah.
And you cannot separate them. They come like this out of a machine, a big chemical plant. Well, actually, in nature, there is only one of them that's produced by plants and that's used by the body.
Yeah.
Your body can absorb only one of them. So if I produce 1 kilo of vitamin, synthetically, I have these 2. Your body is going to reject this one and has to excrete it.
Yeah.
This makes your body work for nothing. The only thing that's going to be active in your body is this one. Well, we produce only this one. So we are actually 2 times more effective than a synthetic one. And we are natural. And we are natural, we're upcycled, the only molecule you need is this one.
So there's very few boxes you're not ticking at the moment.
For this product, yes. We are the world leader and we're really good at what we do, yes.
Fantastic. And you mentioned earlier that, you mentioned since 2021, the growth of the business. Maybe you can talk us through acquisitions that you've made previously and maybe even a look into the future as well.
Yeah, so, we created Kensing as a platform to build something a little bigger. We're already way bigger than we were. And the idea is to create a firm that will be resolutely plant-based in its sourcing, upcycled as much as we can. And so our strategy was first to expand in our core. We expanded in surfactant, we expanded in vitamin E.
Yeah.
And now we're looking to potentially do a few additional acquisitions, either continuing to consolidate our core or expanding into higher end active ingredients that
Sure.
would be relevant, right? I've seen here some people that are in natural antioxidant, biotech antioxidant, biotech active ingredients with strong molecular biology laboratories, for instance.
And they'd have to align with your company's key ethics.
Core and ethics, yes.
and that's so important as well. So it's not just any company or any ingredient.
For sure. For sure.
It has to fit perfectly within a portfolio and offering, and ultimately offer your customers value and an offering that is not readily available on the market.
Exactly, and so that's not easy. M&A is a lever of growth, like any lever of growth. You have R&D, you have commercial, you have R&D, you have investment in equipment, and then you have M&A. And M&A needs to make sense. It's the most challenging. We're very good at what we do. We're very fast. One Rock Capital Partners is a machine to acquire, so we have really core competencies in acquisitions, and that's why we've been successful in integrating the 3 acquisitions we did in a very short period of time.
And I think
it's the one we created, because Kensing was one acquisition. We built a plant, and then we had to create a business infrastructure around it.
And I think it's very clear since 2021, the growth that you've had, you're an incredibly agile business. You're able to think quickly and move quickly. And I think in an industry like cosmetics and personal care, where suppliers are constantly forced to innovate, that agility is a real selling point for any brands that are looking to work with a supplier like yourself.
Yeah, well, that's really our claim of fame, and I think it's recognized in the industry. We've been ranked by our customers as Excellence Award again and again for that. We have the luck, in a way. I've worked for very large corporations in that space, and the luck we have is that we're very large at what we do, but we're still small enough to be extremely agile. And agility and nimbleness is key, not only because of innovation, but also because if one influencer posts tomorrow morning that this extract is fantastic, demand in 1 month can double. And so you have to be extremely reactive on your feet. And I don't want to brag on this, we're just very good because we are small, but very big in what we do. So we have scale. We produce 130,000 tons of material every, so we are a very agile giant, if you wish.
I think that's exactly the type of business that any brand would want to work with, that ability to work with a supplier that's agile, innovative, but also tapped into what the consumer wants. I mean, you mentioned social media. An influencer could publish one thing tomorrow and suddenly all the consumers jump on that bandwagon, and having that ability to actually tap into that consumer market as well and develop products which are constantly attractive for that audience, I think is a huge selling point for any company.
It is, and we are doing this. I mean, this is not in personal care, but in food supplements. We are the world #2 in sterol esters, that are natural additives that can be used to reduce cholesterol. And it's a very well-known market in Europe. You have Danacol, you have Benecol, you have all these small yogurts that people take for cholesterol reduction. Well, interestingly, in the US, which is the biggest manufacturing machine of cholesterol in the world, nobody does it. Nobody knows them. So we currently have actually some campaigns of promotion that are going through influencers and through nutritional influencers for that purpose, connecting to customers, creating the market, and hopefully we'll be successful with that.
And you mentioned North America. Is that also an important marketplace for the business as well as Europe?
It is. We are we are mostly we are more North American than Europe. We have a global presence, but only 20% of our business today is in Europe. So we are expanding in Europe quite rapidly with these 2 plants. So that's a new territory for us. But 2 new plants in Spain is very pertinent, and so we're growing very rapidly in the space.
Fantastic. And finally, looking into the future, what's to come for the business? What's in the pipeline? What's in the pipeline for the company?
Well, again, we talked about M&A, so that's a dynamics. From an innovation standpoint, we are really heavily focused on the idea is to make vitamin E really hot again.
Okay.
And not by just repositioning vitamin E itself, but alpha tocopherol, actually. Vitamin E doesn't mean much. You ask me, about synthetic versus natural. The natural vitamin E and the natural tocopherols, there are many things within vitamin E, are so unique that there are even consortium of academic folks that are saying synthetic vitamin E should not be called vitamin E, because the vitamin E is a bunch of natural products. So out of these natural products, we're looking at each of them, and we are starting to reposition them with specific new metabolic targets where they have activity. We're working on mitochondria, we're working on membrane fluidity, we're working on multiple axes with the idea of launching 3 or 4 products next year that are going to be developed specifically for the skincare market. And so we'll see. I was in this meeting when you interrupted me on defining the strategy for
Fantastic.
R&D for the
That seemed like
future.
quite an important meeting to interrupt then.
No,
in
that's
that
okay.
case.
I'm not the best to drive it either, so they continue without me.
And where can your customers find you?
Oh, we are everywhere. We have distributors everywhere in the world. I think most of our customers know our sales guys. So
Yeah.
we are, of course, if they don't know us and if they don't know who distributors are,
They should by now.
They should just type kensingsolutions.com and they'll find.
Perfect. So that's an absolute pleasure. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much for your time. Really
Thanks a lot.
appreciate it.
Really. Thank
And
you.
for everyone else watching, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Stand Solar Cosmetics Business. I'm sure you're going to be following Kensing and their journey to path of success as much as I am. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.